All of our hope is in this next president. He's going to fix all of our problems. He's going to make it all right. Years ago, when my kids were small, my wife left me home alone for a whole week with them. She went to visit orphans in Honduras, and I became the orphan dad. We had many misadventures. Burnt chicken, we lost the dogs, and we were late to school. So on Thursday night, I decided I had had enough fun, and I was gonna put these kids to bed early and have a peaceful night on the couch. I was just sitting down on the couch to click on the TV and enjoy some peace and quiet when I heard little footsteps coming down the stairs. It's my 2-year-old. Daddy, I'm not tired. Joseph, you are tired. Daddy, I'm not tired. Joseph, who's the boss? I the boss. You're not the boss, I the boss. No, I the boss, Daddy. No, I the boss. I the boss. Finally, I decided to graphically demonstrate to him who the boss really was. I picked him up, carried him to his bed, threw him in and told him not to get out. This major confrontation with my 2-year-old reminds me of the age-old question. Who is going to be in charge? Who's the boss? Who will call the shots? Who will run the show? I mean, we're coming up with another presidential election and we're about to elect the boss of our country. People are like freaking out, like if we elect the wrong guy, it's all gonna go down the toilet. I mean, even Christians are like, all of our hope is in this next president. He's gonna fix all of our problems, he's gonna make it all right. Seriously? A politician? Are you kidding me? It takes me all the way back to the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve. God put them in the garden, God gave them a plan, and within no time they decided they knew better. So they ignored God's plan and did it their way. It's really the same today. God has a plan, God has a way, but we really think we can run it better. My brother Chris has lived in a wheelchair his whole life. He was born with what's called cerebral palsy. The brain is normal, and the brain sends signals to the body like everyone else's, but the nerves send the wrong signals. The nerves have been damaged. So when Chris says, for instance, in his head, I want to pick up this cup and drink from it, instead of his arm going like this and getting the cup, his arm goes like this and shoots out funny. Chris has never dressed himself, never taken himself to the bathroom, never fed himself a meal. Most of us live our lives in a way that resemble my brother Chris. The Lord of the universe is up there. He knows what we're supposed to do. He's sending down signals, but something in us has become so messed up that we can't receive the signals. So when we try to live them out, our lives look a lot like my brother Chris's body. Misshapen, twisted, paralyzed. It's almost as if the signals just can't get through. About 2 years ago, a group of leaders came to me from my church and told me that they thought I should step down as the lead pastor, as the person in charge. I didn't really react too favorably to that, to be honest. I had started the church. Of course, if God told me to start the church, I'm supposed to be in charge of it. I'm supposed to run it. Now, one mistake I made in this is I never really went and spent significant time seeking out the real head of the church to see what he thought. I really didn't want to hear this, and so I just threw up a couple of perfunctory prayers and went on with my life. I ran the show. I was the boss. Well, 2 years later, I don't have a job anymore as of in a few months. The church is not doing so well, and I think probably those leaders were right. And if I had really listened, really sought the Lord out, maybe I would have come to that conclusion 2 years ago, and who knows where we'd be, maybe a whole different place. 1 Peter says, in your hearts, set apart Christ as Lord. A lot of people probably in their brain say, Jesus is Lord. But how many people really say that with their hearts? How many times do we really ask God what he thinks? We decide to get married to someone we're going to spend the rest of our lives with. But do we really ever say, hey God, what do you think about this? Is this the right person for me for the rest of my life? And what if God said no? Dwight Edwards, author, speaker, pastor, describes this as a willingness to yield to Jesus' way for our lives. He uses these words. He says, can you say to Jesus, wherever, however, whatever, whenever? I find myself right in this spot right now. I'm like probably 3 months from having no job. So I was up early this morning saying, God, I need a job. Of course, it's not like I'm saying, hey, God, I need a job. You figure it out. It's like, hey, God, I need a job, and I need it to be in this area where my house is and my life's been built, and I need it to make this much money, and I need it to be delivered at this time. And I have all these parameters around it. And the idea, for some reason, of like really yielding to God, it's scary. Ever find yourself in the same place? I think that's really the question for me and for you. Does the Lord have the final say